Welcome to the New Jersey DMV Written Test with real questions and answers from the New Jersey DMV. Before we get started, be sure to hit the like and subscribe button so you never miss an update and help support the channel. Now let's dive into all the questions and answers you need to study for your New Jersey test.
What does a flashing yellow traffic light mean? A. Merging traffic. B. Proceed with caution. C. Pedestrian crossing. D. Come to a full stop. B. Proceed with caution. A flashing yellow traffic light indicates that you should drive with caution. Distracted drivers are at a greater risk of a crash when they are using which of the following? A. CD player. B. Radio. C. Cell phone. D. All of the above. D. All of the above. Using a cell phone, including a hands-free phone, or any kind of audio device, including a radio or CD player, can be a dangerous distraction and contributes to the risk of a crash. To reduce the effects of headlight glare at night, you should look A. Straight ahead. B. Over your shoulder. C. At the center of the road. D. To the right edge of the road. D. To the right edge of the road. If oncoming drivers do not dim their headlights for you, keep your eyes on the right side of the road ahead. Do not look directly at the oncoming headlights because the glare may blind you for several seconds. If two vehicles arrive to an uncontrolled intersection at the same time, A. The largest vehicle has the right-of-way. B. The car on the left has the right-of-way. C. The car on the left shall yield to the car on the right. D. The car on the right shall yield to the car on the left. C. The car on the left shall yield to the car on the right. If two vehicles arrive at the same time to an uncontrolled intersection, the driver on the left must yield to the driver on the right. The driver on the left may then proceed when it is safe to do so. The most important thing to remember about speed management and curves is that you must A. Drive at the posted speed limit as you enter the curve, then slow down at the sharpest part of the curve. B. Slow down before you enter the curve. C. Accelerate gently before you enter the curve. D. Drive at the posted speed limit before, throughout, and after the curve. B. Slow down before you enter the curve. The most important thing to remember about driving in curves is that your vehicle's inertia may make it difficult to turn. To maintain control, it is essential that you slow down before entering the curve. Want to ace your DMV test? Go to cheatsheets.com and get your guaranteed cheat sheet. At night, it is hardest to see. A. Road signs. B. Pedestrians. C. Other motorists. D. Streetlights. B. Pedestrians. Compared to signs and other roadside objects, pedestrians are hardest to see at night. Before switching on the ignition, you should A. Be sure only backseat passengers have buckled their seatbelts. B. Be sure only adult passengers have buckled their seatbelts. C. Be sure only child passengers have buckled their seatbelts. D. Be sure all of the vehicle's occupants have buckled their seatbelts. D. Be sure all of the vehicle's occupants have buckled their seatbelts. Develop a routine for entering and leaving your car. Before switching on the ignition, buckle your safety belt and see that all passengers do likewise. At a four-way stop, A. The driver to arrive first has the right-of-way. B. The driver to arrive last has the right-of-way. C. One driver should continue driving without stopping. D. One driver should wave the other drivers ahead. A. The driver to arrive first has the right-of-way. At four-way stops, traffic from all four directions must stop. The first vehicle to reach the intersection should move forward first. If two vehicles reach the intersection at the same time, the driver on the left yields to the driver on the right. When entering a street from a driveway, you A. Must drive slowly to allow approaching vehicles and pedestrians time to get out of your way. B. Must honk your horn so approaching vehicles and pedestrians know to give you room. C. Must stop and proceed only when there are no pedestrians or vehicles approaching. D. Can disregard any pedestrians if there is no sidewalk. C. must stop and proceed only when there are no pedestrians or vehicles approaching. Always stop before entering the roadway from a driveway and yield to any approaching vehicles or crossing pedestrians. The stop should be made before crossing the sidewalk area. Failure to stop is unlawful. Roads freeze quickly when they are A. Flat, B. Curvy, C. In the sun, D. Shaded. D. Shaded. In cold or wet weather, you should take special care on sections of road that are shaded by trees or buildings. These areas freeze more quickly than the rest of the road and are the last parts of the road to dry. Driving a vehicle without proper liability insurance coverage may result in A. No negative consequences, B. Only a warning, C. A fine, D. Jail time, C. A fine. All vehicles driven in New Jersey must be covered by liability insurance. Driving without proper coverage can result in fines, mandated community service, license suspension, and registration suspension. If your brakes fail while you are driving, you should first A. Switch to a higher gear and press the gas pedal. B. Switch to neutral and coast. C. Switch to a lower gear and pump your brakes. D. Turn off the ignition. C. Switch to a lower gear and pump your brakes. If your brakes fail while you are on the road, your first response should be to switch into a lower gear and begin to pump your brake pedal to build up pressure to stop your vehicle. Find a safe place to stop the vehicle and do not drive it again until the brakes have been fixed. Round signs indicate A. No passing zones, B. School zones, C. Upcoming railroad crossings, D. Hospitals, C. Upcoming railroad crossings. Round signs warn drivers of an upcoming railroad crossing area. Drivers should use extra caution when approaching a railroad crossing. Slower moving traffic on a multi-lane highway should A. Drive in any lane, B. Drive in the left lane, C. Drive in the lane with the least amount of traffic, D. Drive in the right lane, D. Drive in the right lane. If you are driving more slowly than surrounding traffic on a multi-lane road, use the right lane. The left-hand lane is intended for use by faster-moving traffic that is passing slower-moving traffic. Who is required to wear a seatbelt in a moving motor vehicle? A. Just the driver, B. Just adult passengers, C. Just child passengers, D. All occupants of the motor vehicle, D. All occupants of the motor vehicle. Under state law, the driver and all passengers of a passenger vehicle must wear a seatbelt. The failure of a driver, front seat passenger, or child under age 18 to wear a seatbelt is a primary offense. The driver is responsible for all passengers under age 18. Under a secondary law, all unbuckled backseat occupants 18 years of age and older may be issued a summons if the vehicle has been stopped for a different reason. When driving on major highways, A. Stay alert, B. Keep your eyes moving, C. Be ready to react to road hazards, D. All of the above, D. All of the above. It is important to stay alert on highways and be ready to react to unexpected hazards. To avoid highway hypnosis, you should avoid looking at any one thing for more than a few seconds. A person's ability to drive can be impaired by A. Alcohol, B. Any medication, C. A lack of sleep, D. All of the above, D. All of the above. The ability to drive safely is dependent on the driver being in good physical condition. Driving can be impaired by alcohol, legal and illegal drugs, and being drowsy. This sign means A. Highway changes ahead and to the right, B. Hiking trails ahead and to the right, C. Hotel ahead and to the right, D. Hospital ahead and to the right, D. Hospital ahead and to the right. This sign indicates that hospital emergency services are located to the right. This sign is a warning that you are approaching A. An intersection, B. A crosswalk, C. A railroad crossing, D. A blasting zone, C. A railroad crossing. This sign indicates that you are approaching a railroad crossing. A red traffic signal light means that you must A. Stop at the stop line. B. Stop before entering any crosswalk. C. Stop before entering the intersection. D. All of the above. D. All of the above. A red traffic light means that you must stop before entering the intersection. You must at any stop line and before entering any crosswalk. Hydroplaning is usually caused by A. Excessive stops. B. Sudden stops. C. Sudden turns. D. Excessive speed. D. Excessive speed. Your tires become less effective at clearing water from the road as you increase your speed. If you drive too fast, they may lose their grip entirely, leaving the vehicle sliding on a film of water. This is known as hydroplaning. The best way to deal with tailgaters is to A. Speed up to increase the distance between you and the tailgater. B. Slam on your brakes to get the other driver to back off. C. Change lanes or gradually slow down to encourage them to pass. D. Ignore them. C. Change lanes or gradually slow down to encourage them to pass. Check the traffic behind you several times a minute to know if another driver is tailgating, approaching too fast, or trying to pass. If another car is following you too closely, slow down and let it pass. Most rear-end collisions are caused by vehicles following too closely. If you are driving so slowly that traffic is backing up behind you, you should A. Decrease your speed. B. Pull off the right side of the road and let traffic pass. C. Not let the other cars pass your vehicle. D. Use your four-way flashers. B. Pull off the right side of the road and let traffic pass. Driving more slowly than the flow of traffic can be hazardous. If you are on a two-lane, two-way road and driving so slowly that traffic is backing up behind you, you are required to pull off the road and let the other vehicles pass. Only drive significantly under the speed limit when conditions require it. As you near an intersection, the traffic light changes from green to yellow. Your best action is to A. Speed up to beat the red light. B. Apply the brakes sharply to stop. C. Be prepared to stop in the center of the intersection. D. Be prepared to stop before the intersection. D. Be prepared to stop before the intersection. A steady yellow traffic light indicates that the light will soon change to red. You should be prepared to stop for the red light if it is safe to do so. You do not need to stop your vehicle for a frozen dessert truck when A. It shows flashing red lights. B. It shows a stop signal arm. C. A person is crossing the roadway to or from the frozen dessert truck. D. Driving on a dual highway if you're on the opposite side of a safety island or median. D. Driving on a dual highway if you're on the opposite side of a safety island or median. If an ice cream or frozen dessert truck is flashing its red lights and posting a stop signal arm, you must stop and drive past at no more than 15 miles per hour, unless you are driving on a dual highway on the opposite side of a safety island or raised median. Which is not a factor in determining the distance that it takes to stop your vehicle. A. Steering ability. B. Braking distance. C. Reaction distance. D. Perception time. A. Steering ability. The distance required to stop your vehicle depends on perception time, reaction distance, and braking distance. This changes with speed and road conditions. This sign means A. Sharp turn ahead, slow down. B. Work crew ahead. C. Side road. D. Playground ahead. A. Sharp turn ahead, slow down. Warning signs prepare drivers for upcoming road conditions and hazards and are usually yellow with black markings. This sign warns drivers that there is an upcoming sharp turn and that they should lower their speed accordingly. When approaching a flashing red traffic light, drivers should A. Drive through the intersection if there is no crossing traffic. B. Continue driving as they have the right-of-way. C. Stop if a police officer is nearby. D. Treat the light like a stop sign. D. Treat the light like a stop sign. Flashing red lights are used at dangerous intersections. Treat them like stop signs. Crossbuck signs indicate A. Railroad crossings, B. School zones, C. No passing zones, D. Hospitals. A. Railroad crossings. Crossbuck signs tell drivers to yield to trains at a railroad crossing. Drivers should not try to outdrive a train. Coming to a complete stop at an intersection, yielding to cross-traffic pedestrians, and then proceeding through the intersection when the way is clear corresponds with A. A solid red light, B. A flashing yellow light, C. A solid green light, D. A flashing red light, D. A flashing red light. A flashing red traffic light means the same thing as a stop sign. You must come to a complete stop, yield to cross-traffic and pedestrians, and then proceed when the way is clear. When stopped for a traffic violation or at an equipment check, the driver must produce A. Proof of insurance, B. Their license, C. Proof of registration, D. All of the above. D. All of the above. When stopped for a traffic violation or at an equipment check, the driver is responsible for producing their license, proof of registration, and proof of insurance. Drivers are required to have all three of these documents in a vehicle when it is being driven. When parallel parking, you should park within. Fill in the blank. Inches of the curb. A 6, B 12, C 18, D 24, A 6. When parallel parking your vehicle, your wheels should be within 6 inches of the curb. Only park where you will not be disruptive to traffic and where drivers can clearly see your vehicle from every direction. You must yield to other drivers. A. When entering a street from a garage or alley. B. When they are on a road to your left and you have reached an unmarked intersection at the same time. C. When your traffic signal is a green arrow. D. All of the above. A. When entering a street from a garage or alley. You must yield to other drivers when entering a street from an alley, driveway, or garage. You must also yield to pedestrians who are on an intersecting sidewalk. An octagonal sign is always A. Speed limit sign, B. Stop sign, C. Hospital sign, D. Railroad warning sign, B. Stop sign. Octagonal signs are always stop signs. Come to a complete stop when approaching a red 8-sided sign. You are driving along a street and hear a siren. You cannot immediately see the emergency vehicle. You should A. Keep driving until you see the vehicle. B. Pull to the curb and look to see if it is on your street. C. Slow down. Don't stop until you see it. D. Speed up and turn at the next intersection. B. Pull to the curb and look to see if it is on your street. If you hear a siren or an air horn close by, but do not know exactly where the emergency vehicle is, safely pull over to the right side of the road and stop until you are sure it is not headed toward you. You are coming to a railroad crossing where the crossing signals are flashing. You should A. Stop and look for a train. B. Slow down and look for a train. C. Look for a train, then speed up. D. Do what the vehicle ahead of you does. A. Stop and look for a train. When approaching a railroad crossing, you must stop your vehicle no closer than 15 feet from the nearest rail if an installed electric or mechanical signal is giving warning of an approaching train. Be aware of other warning signs that may indicate an oncoming train, including seeing a lowered crossing gate or hearing an oncoming train. If an emergency vehicle with flashing lights is traveling in the area where you are driving, you should A. Speed up to avoid the emergency vehicle. B. Stop your vehicle immediately and prevent them from passing. C. Make every effort to give the emergency vehicle a clear path of travel. D. Signal to the emergency vehicle when it is clear for them to pass you. C. Make every effort to give the emergency vehicle a clear path of travel. If an emergency vehicle with flashing lights is traveling in the area where you are driving, you must make every effort to give them a clear path of travel. If it is safe to do so, pull your vehicle to the side of the road to give the emergency vehicle an open pathway. A solid white line on the right edge of the highway slants in to the left. That shows that A. There is an intersection just ahead. B. You are approaching a construction area. C. You will be required to turn left just ahead. D. The road will get narrower. D. The road will get narrower. A solid line along the side of the road indicates where its edge is, marking the boundary between the travel lane and the shoulder. If the edge line angles toward the center of the road, this means that the road is narrower ahead. This green arrow on a lane use control signal means A. You may use this lane. B. No traffic is allowed in this lane. C. You have the right of way. D. You must merge into this lane. A. You may use this lane. A steady downward green arrow over a traffic lane means you may use the lane indicated. A driver who is age 21 or older and operating on a GDL must practice supervised driving for at least. Fill in the blank. Before taking the road test, A. 6 months, B. 3 months, C. 1 month, D. 3 weeks, B. 3 months. A driver who is under the age of 21 and operating on a graduated driver license, GDL, must practice supervised driving for a minimum of 6 months before taking the official road test. A driver age 21 or older who is operating on a GDL must practice supervised driving for a minimum of 3 months. On the freeway you see a merging traffic sign. You should A. Honk at incoming traffic. B. Always remain at your present speed. C. Speed up to avoid congesting traffic. D. Move to another lane if safe to let traffic enter. D. Move to another lane if safe to let traffic enter. When on a roadway with 2 or more lanes, you should make room for entering vehicles. If there is no one driving next to you, move over 1 lane. If you see this sign, you A. must not pass another vehicle. B. May pass a slow-moving vehicle if you can do so quickly. C. May pass if you know the road ahead. D. May pass, but only at night. A. Must not pass another vehicle. Regulatory signs are white, rectangular signs with black markings. Drivers must obey the instructions posted on all regulatory signs. Where this sign is posted, it is prohibited for drivers to pass one another. You may turn right on red. A. When there is a sign prohibiting turning right on red. B. Before pedestrians have crossed any intersecting crosswalks. C. After coming to a complete stop and yielding to pedestrians and vehicles in the intersection. D. Before coming to a complete stop. C. After coming to a complete stop and yielding to pedestrians and vehicles in the intersection. You may turn right on a red light after coming to a full stop. You may only turn if it is safe to do so, and if there is no sign prohibiting the turn on a red light. Be watchful for pedestrians crossing in front of your vehicle. An inattentive driver is a driver who A. Stares at objects off the roadway or daydreams while driving. B. Maintains eye contact during a conversation with a passenger while driving. C. Only watches the vehicle ahead of their vehicle. D. All of the above. D. All of the above. Do not become distracted by looking at passengers, attempting to find something in your vehicle, looking at reading material, sightseeing, or daydreaming while driving. Continue scanning the road, checking your mirrors, and looking at the instrument panel at regular intervals. Developing these safe habits will keep you attentive as a driver. The Child Passenger Safety Law requires children who are under the age of 8 and shorter than. Fill in the blank. To be seated in a federally approved safety system or booster seat. A. 5 feet 5 inches. B. 5 feet. C. 4 feet 11 inches. D. 4 feet 9 inches. D. 4 feet 9 inches. The Child Passenger Safety Law requires children who are under the age of 8 and less than 4 feet, 9 inches tall, to be seated in a federally approved safety system or booster seat. They must be restrained in the rear seat of the vehicle. This sign means A. Roundabout ahead. B. Lane ends merge left. C. Turn around. D. Curve ahead. A. Roundabout ahead. B. Lane ends merge left. C. Turn around. D. Curve ahead. 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 This sign indicates that a roundabout is ahead. Enter a roundabout at a low speed and yield to existing traffic. When approaching a steady yellow traffic light, drivers should A. Accelerate to avoid a red light. B. Continue driving as they have the right-of-way. C. Slow to a stop unless they are already within the intersection. D. Check to see what the cars next to them are doing. C. Slow to a stop unless they are already within the intersection. A steady yellow traffic light indicates that a red light is about to appear. Stop unless you are already within the intersection. When driving on an interstate, A. Stop on the shoulder of the road if you are tired. B. You should always use cruise control. C. Signal, check mirrors, and check blind spots before changing lanes. D. You should change lanes often. C. Signal, check mirrors, and check blind spots before changing lanes. Signal, check your mirrors, and check your blind spot before changing lanes or passing on an interstate. Only stop on the shoulder of the interstate in the case of an emergency and change lanes as infrequently as possible. Cruise control should not be used in heavy traffic or under poor weather conditions. When parking uphill next to a curb, set the parking brake and A. Keep the rear tires against the curb. B. Keep the front tires straight ahead. C. Turn your steering wheel away from the curb. D. Turn your steering wheel toward the curb. C. Turn your steering wheel away from the curb. When parking facing uphill on a street that has a curb, set your parking brake and turn your steering wheel away from the curb. This way, if your vehicle starts to roll, it will roll into the curb. A driver with a graduated driver license? A. Does not need to use a seatbelt. B. Must follow only the same rules as a driver with a basic driver license. C. May not use a handheld or hands-free cell phone while driving. D. May use electronic devices while driving. C. May not use a handheld or hands-free cell phone while driving. A driver operating with a GDL may not use any electronic devices, such as a cell phone, while behind the wheel. All New Jersey drivers must wear a seatbelt while driving.